Hello, you're watching Cricketry on ThePapare.com. I'm Andrew Fernando and I'm here with Russel Arnold at St George's Park in Port Elizabeth ahead of Sri Lanka's second Test match. Russell, let's talk about the momentousness of the occasion first. With Sri Lanka having won in Kingsmead, they now have that very rare chance for an Asian team to get the first Asian series victory on South African soil. How important is that? Will that be motivating the team, do you think?
I think it's a great position to be in. I believe only Australia and England from all other teams have also succeeded in winning series here in South Africa. So that's how difficult it is here. For Sri Lanka, it's a unique position. It's a position probably they'll have to pinch themselves and wake themselves up to realize where they are at. But the threat, Andrew, is that if they start focusing on that, I thought it was a great win back in Durban. But we also must not forget where the team is. It doesn't mean that the team has taken giant strides. Yes, there are positives. There are still areas to work on. There were younger players who added a bit of energy. And Kusal Pereira probably played innings of his life, which we might not see him do again. So we still have plenty of areas to work on. And coming in, we mustn't get faced by what's ahead. Or what has happened. You've got to play the game as it is. What's in front of you, play the conditions, and most important is stick to the basics. I guess go through the processes and try and get yourself into a position from where you can put pressure, because that's where Sri Lanka are really. That was a special win, but still when you look at the bigger picture, it's a team that's trying to find its feet. Yes, the confidence will be high and players will believe a lot more. They'll believe that they can come out and perform, but it's all going to be about the basics.
Let's talk a little bit about Sri Lanka's option selection-wise. Kusal Mendis rolled his ankle yesterday at training. He's not said to be not 100% fit yet, but there is a chance that he'll play tomorrow, depending on how he turns up on the morning. With that in mind, are there any changes that you'd make? What are, if Kusal can't play, what would you do in that position?
Well, what I'm gathering initially, Andrew, is that there are no injuries otherwise. The seamers and the bowlers, that part of it seems fine, and there's no reason for Sri Lanka to look outside that. I will still go with Kasun Rajitha, give him the continuity, and hopefully he starts getting his rhythm right, which will be good. In terms of the batting, I'd closely look at Lairu Tirimana. His approach and his contribution is just not going in Sri Lanka's favour. The confidence levels seem to be low. Even in the field, he seems to be struggling. Catches going down. He did take one, but that also was not in his palms. He stuck it in against his tummy. So his focus just doesn't seem to be 100%. And when it comes to the batting, not only the runs, it just seems to be a bit of a struggle for him. So have a close look at him. But of course, the obvious replacement there is Kaushal Silva. Looking at the bigger squad, I might have liked to see a younger player in the squad to go into that position. But on Mendes, Sri Lanka could have a couple of other options they can look at. Milinda Siriwardana, who's played Test cricket before, and of course a debut for Angelo Pereira. So those are a few options that the Sri Lankans will toy around, but other than that, I think they're pretty much all right in the personnel they have.
One thing that South Africa have spoken about from a batting perspective is that in the first test they hadn't seen the likes of Lasith Ambudene, they hadn't seen the likes of Russel Fernando before, so they were a little bit surprised by what those bowlers had to offer. So what, now they have that knowledge a little bit, they would have seen a bit of him, would have seen more video, analysed them. What do Ambudene and Fernando have to do to maintain the kinds of pressure that they put the South African batsmen under in that first test?
Nothing different. Just keep pegging away, make life scoring or run scoring difficult for the South Africans. The pressure will tell. It's all about the pressure, and now the pressure is firmly on South Africa. They are in a position where they just couldn't find themselves in there. One down here, looking at a series loss against a Sri Lankan team, depleted Sri Lanka team with so many issues. So it was a shock for them, and that will weigh them down. That's where Sri Lanka have to be careful, not try to be too smart, but just chip away. And I think they can, if they don't allow South Africa to run away with it, I think they can get on top. So South Africa, with all the analysis, all the focus, and everything that happens around them, they will feel that weight. So it's about keeping the intensity up.
a lot of youth in this team, obviously, and someone who's leading the attack is Suranga Lakmal. We haven't spoken a lot about him. He did a role in that first test. Has got a 5-wicket haul here last time he played. What are you looking for from him in terms of the leadership? Everyone else has played 5-6 tests or fewer in that attack.
Well, leadership is also it's not about talking or trying to tell the others what to do. It's about going out there and do it. And I think Suranga Lakmal has done a very good job. Wherever Sri Lanka has played, those lines and lengths, he's maintained a very high benchmark for the others to follow. So he needs to keep his energy up and stay fit and run through this test match. It's the last test match in a while for the Sri Lankans. So after that, he could afford to put his feet up. He's been playing quite a bit through New Zealand, Australia, and now here. So it'll probably be the most important test match that he's playing right now, because as you said, he's got to lead and he's got to keep running in there and make the difference in showing the younger players that this is what needs to be done.
Russel Arnold, thanks very much.